Hi, welcome back to my studio. If you happen to be new, I am Sandy and I'm really glad you're here. So today I am going to be working in my idea or my inspiration journal, and I am going to do some easy junk journal page layouts today. And I am going through my stash. I've thought about what are some things that maybe beginner junk journalers might have, as well as more experienced junk journalers. And I think I might try to do 5 different layouts. So to kind of give you different ideas of different materials and where you can get those materials from. So let's get started. All right, let me find a blank page. So I think I'll start here. And for this first page, what I thought we would try to use are like some book pages and maybe some scrapbook paper, maybe some things you can get from the Dollar Tree. Like they have some paper, they have ledger paper, and they have some small pieces of scrapbook paper and tissue paper, and they have like this fabric paper. And so yeah, so let's get started, and I'll just give you an example here. So book pages, so it's really easy to look through your stash that you have at home and look through the books that you have. Also go to thrift stores and Goodwill, as well as Half Price Bookstore, and just look for books that might have some aging on them. And if they don't have any aging, you can always do that yourself with coffee dyeing them or inking them up. But you don't have to use them. I have another example where we're going to use a glossy book page, so stick around for that. So I've just grabbed a few things from my stash. This is an Edith Holden page, so obviously we're going to really like that, right? We all love Edith Holden. And if you're new and aren't sure who Edith Holden is, you'll quickly find out. It's a book that has these just beautiful, beautiful images in it. And then I did pick up some music paper and ledger paper, and then I have a couple scraps of scrapbook paper, and then I have some sewing pattern, but you could also just use some tissue paper. And one of the things I like to do if I'm struggling with a blank page is I'll start off and I'll just kind of do a little bit of inking on my page just to kind of break the wall of the white paper. And I'll ink around the edges. And then if you have some stencils, you can grab some stencils and do a little stenciling on the page. Or if you have some stamps, you can do some stamping. And I have a stamp here. And so I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping and just have a little bit of fun. And I think I might try to come up with a pocket or some sort of something with one of these two pieces here. Now I could probably make a pocket with this. So I might trim this down and turn this into a side loading pocket. That would be good. I could also make it into a flip, so it could flip up like this so that you could see the prettiness on the back side as well. Or I could start with this one. Yeah, no, I like that. So maybe I'll make that a flip. I might skinny that down just a little bit, and then I might make this into a pocket. So I think I'd like to have the April on there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rip this just to show you. You don't have to cut everything. And we'll need to trim this a little bit to get it to fit onto the page. Let me grab my pencil. So let's see, I think we can trim a little bit right there, and then we'll trim a little bit right there. So I'm going to come in like this, and then just go straight along here. And perfect. So I'm going to trim right around this flower a little. And if I have to cut that flower off, that's no big deal. But I think that's going to work just fine. So we'll have a little pocket here. I am going to ink that up. And if you don't have a book page, you can definitely do this with scrapbook paper, construction paper, anything really. So we're going to make that into a pocket. And then I could make this into a tag to slide into the pocket as well. See, there's just so many options. That's what I wanted to show you all. Grab my glue. Now the glue I like to use, it's called Reptile glue. And the Posh Paper Lady, she's the one that got me on this one. And I think my glue is clogged. I've been using my glue stick and my Reptile glue, or my Fabri-Tac glue here lately. So I hadn't used my Reptile glue for a couple days. So I'm going to put that right there. Make a little pocket. And then we can have this be a nice little tag. So I might trim this down. I'll probably make this tag, let's see, probably about that big there. A lot of times my tags, I'll make them about 5 inches, 5 to 6 inches tall. And then I have another little trick I've done is I've taken an old hotel key and I've cut little angles, and this helps me to have my little tag angles match a little bit better. There we go. So then we have a little tag, and what I think I might do is add some ledger paper onto the back of this so that you can have a journaling spot, or so that I can have a journaling spot. I hope everyone is having a good day. I've been having a pretty good day. I had a doctor's appointment earlier, and then I ran a couple errands. Yeah, that'll be good. And then I'll ink that up. And then I'll glue that on there. And I'll use my glue stick for this. And I have my glue book off to the side, so I just have an old book that I use to glue things. Now you can get ledger paper from the Dollar Tree. You can also get it at Staples, even Walmart. You can get some at Walmart. So there, and then I'll punch a hole later and just add a little bit of ribbon or twine up there. But there you have a nice little hidden secret journaling spot. And then, sorry about that, I wanted to see about making this a little flip up. And I do want to make it a little bit, do I want to make it skinnier? Actually, I kind of like it like that. So I'm going to fold this over. And there we go. And then I'm just going to ink this up. With this yummy aging on this paper, I really don't have to ink up much. And then I'm going to glue that down right up there. and then we'll have that flip up. And actually I might put it over here so then I can paper clip it down. So I'm going to put glue on this side here. I hope these different pages that I'm doing gives you some inspiration and helps you get started if you're fairly new. If you're anything like me, when I first got into it, I had a big collection of scrapbook paper because I used to be a scrapbooker. But then I would see someone show some new shiny thing, and then I was off buying that new shiny thing. So hopefully this will get you using some of those new shiny things you might have purchased. So then we have a paper clip there to hold that down. You could also do a little piece of Velcro if you wanted to, but then you kind of have a little secret hidden spot there. I like that. And then over along this side, let's see if there's anything else I might want to add. I do have this pretty paper here, and I could add just a fun little, let's see, what do we have? You know, I might add just a fun little collage, so when you lift this up you have a pretty little collage right there, or a cluster if you will. And a cluster is where you take just you could take anywhere from 3 to 5 different items. They really can be fairly quick and easy. So you got a little cluster like that, and this will kind of help hold that tag in as well. And then I might do a little strip of the tissue paper here like that. And then I have a little piece of vellum. This is just a scrap little piece of vellum, and you don't have to tear, you can cut if you want. And then I might do a little piece of music paper, and you can find music books at thrift stores and a half-price bookstore and Goodwill, lots of little places. And you can ink this up if you want, but for time's sake I'm not going to ink all of them. And then you can glue all this down if you want, or you can staple it. And I am going to do a little staple. And the other thing I might do is try to find like a butterfly or a bird or something to stick on there. So I am going to staple this. And I do have the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. I resisted for a long time on getting it, and yeah, have it poke out right there, and yeah, like that. And I was able to get it on sale, and so I broke down and got it. And I have just this little yellow butterfly sticker laying on my desk, so I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to put it so it's poking out when that is down. And then I'm just going to glue this on the back. And I'm just gluing in the middle so that the edges are kind of be up, so that this tag can still come in and out. And I want to make sure we can see some of that butterfly. Perfect. And then since some of my stamping I did at the start kind of got covered up, I'm going to do a little stamping on here. And stenciling is another way to go. So I'm going to do a little stamping right there. And then I'm going to do just some faint little stamping here as well. And I have one final, I'm trying to decide if I want to put a little topper on that. think that's good like that. You could put a little strip of washi tape up here or a little bit of lace and give it a little bit of decorative look there. Yeah, maybe I'll add just a touch of lace. And again, this is a Dollar Tree lace. So one of the things I like to try to do when I'm working on a layout is try not to overthink it and just try to go with it. So it's hard for me, but I'm practicing it right now with you guys on this video. All right, so there we have a fun little page. We have a little hidden journaling here. You could also do some journaling right here. And then you have this fun little cluster surprise. So that is the first quick and easy layout using book pages, scrapbook paper, some tissue paper, things from the Dollar Tree, if you will, tissue paper, ledger paper, book pages, all those types of things you can get from the Dollar Tree, and a sticker and a little bit of lace. All right, for my next page, I am going to use, so this is actually a photo from a calendar, and you can see it's shiny, how shiny it is. And what I did is I've coated it with the matte Mod Podge. You could also use Tim Holtz Collage Medium and just put a coat on there and let it dry. Sometimes maybe you have to use 2 coats. And so I thought this would make a really cute side tuck. And then another fun thing to use is keep an eye out for napkins. Like if you go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's, any of those stores like that, they always have really pretty napkins. This one I think was TJ Maxx. And it was really cool because you get 4 butterflies in one napkin. And one thing just to note is it has these plies on the back of it, and to glue these down easier, it's good to remove these plies. And if you have trouble getting it started, I just wanted to show you, you can take a piece of washi tape or Scotch tape, and if you just put it down on the ply and then just kind of pull it away, it takes it a second to get started. Pull the tape up. There we go. And it'll pull the ply away from your image. And then you have just one ply. This was actually a 3 ply, so I had to pull off 2 white layers. I am going to trim this down. I have a couple ideas floating in my head right now, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to do or if I'm going to do both of them. So I've cut this butterfly down, and I thought I could maybe put the butterfly on the page here, and I would have to cut some of it off. So I have to decide if I want to do that. And then my other idea was I was going to make this little side tuck card, and I was going to wrap the card in this butterfly so that it would wrap around like that. So I think I'll definitely do this one. I think that'll be pretty. And once I get this one done, I'll make a decision on if I need both of these. But either's an option, so you could either glue it to your page, or I guess I'll glue it onto this tag. And I am going to use, I'm just going to use my glue stick, and I'm going to see, well, no, I think I'll use my Collage Medium. Like I said, you could also use Mod Podge. And This one is almost empty, but I think I have enough where I can get this done. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put a base layer of the Mod Podge down. And so I'm just trying to paint the outline here. Try to mimic the shape of the butterfly, more or less. And then I'm going to place this down. And then I'm going to put a coat on top. Napkins are a fun and easy junk journaling supply. And you might even have these napkins in your stash. It seems like whenever I buy napkins for a party, you usually have a couple left over. So I'm going to set this aside and let this dry, and then we'll work on, look how pretty that looks, and then we'll work on the page. It's important to go wash your paintbrush as soon as you're done with it to get that collage medium out of there. So let's come back in, and I want to decide if I really want to put this down here or not. I guess I could have put it that way, huh? I think I am going to just go with the butterfly on my tags that I'm going to insert in here. So I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to glue down just 3 sides because I want it to be a side tuck on this side. So I'm going to put glue on the 3 sides that I'm not holding. And if you are a sewer, you can go and stitch around this before you glue it down if you want to. I'm not going to sew it today. And then I'm going to really push this down and make sure the glue sticks. And there we have a nice little side tuck right there. Alright, so this image has mostly dried. So instead of folding it straight in half to make a tag, I am folding it and I'm leaving, this is about 3/4 of an inch of a gap. And so I'm going to make this a side tuck pocket. And since this paper is not double-sided, I want to cover this up. So I'm going to put a little bit of book page right here. So I want to trim this down. I'm going to make sure this is long enough before I trim that. Yep, that'll be good. So again, I'm going to use my glue book. I'm going to ink this up. That already looks inked up. Perfect. So a glue book, essentially you're just taking an old book and you put your paper down on it and then run your glue onto your item. And then those pages you can then use them for future projects. Just fold them in half and you can turn them into pockets. You can turn them into all kinds of things. And after this dries a little bit more, I'm going to ink around the edges. And then I did find a little label that I thought I would put right down here. And I want to glue this shut. So we'll have a nice side tuck pocket. Push those down really well. And there we go. So then you have a side tuck pocket like that. And then I'm going to put this little label right here. And at a future date, I can put a word on there, or I could write a word when I'm ready to journal on this page. And a lot of paper pads will have little die cuts. There's also a lot of free digitals out there that you can find. And then what's fun is you can put this in this way and you still see the really pretty butterfly. And then you can also do some stenciling and coloring if you don't like the white on here. And let me show you that real quick. I have milled lavender. It's a pretty color. And I'm just taking one of these stencils here and just kind of go, you can go as dark as you want. That looks great. I love it. So these stencils can really add a lot of pizzazz to your projects. Nice. Lovely. Can even put a little stenciling on here. Let's see if it'll show up. Oh, it does. Very cool. Look at that. I like that. And then we are ready to put our tag in there. And then I could make another tag from this other scrap piece of paper, 6x6 piece of paper, and put that in there. So you can either have your tag go in like that, or you can have your tag go in like that. Either way, your choice. So that is an example of using just like an old calendar, or you can use a magazine page, and some 6x6 paper pad, and some napkins, and some book page, and a little stencil. My next layout is going to be 2 side pockets. And what I'm doing to make these a little bit different is I'm doing a little collage on each of the pockets. So I've taken some scraps of paper, and again, you can see this is a bird themed. So I'm going to show you the last little piece. So I've cut these down, and then I have this last piece here to put on. I'm just going to line this up the best I can, and if I have to trim it, I'll trim it a little bit later. And put that down. And then I want to cut 2 little notches in these so that you know that they're a pocket. So I'm just using my circle punch, my 1-inch circle punch. And I want to ink these up. And I need to trim this just a little bit here. There we go. So now we'll have 2 side pockets here, and we can decide how we want them. I think I'm going to put them like this, and then I can come back, and if I have some bird stickers or any other little thing I can add to these blank little spots, and then I'll have a nice side pocket for each of these. And so I'm going to lay this one down first because this one is going on top of that, and I'm going to use my reptile glue. And I just glued these scraps of paper onto the back of another white piece of cardstock. And so I'm going to put this right about here. And as you can see, I like having my tags stick out. Spread the glue, and then I'm going to have this one right about here, so they'll overlap. And I could have made this one a top loading pocket if I wanted to. So that's another option. So you can always take these and kind of make them your own and tweak them. And I think I might do that. I think making this one a top pocket and then that one a side pocket. And here I just have a little piece of avocado dyed index card, and I can slide that right in there. And if I want to trim it off, I can trim it off. And this one goes down in here, and this one fits in there perfectly. So super easy. And then you can ink and stencil around the edges. If you have some washi tape, you can add some washi tape. Let's wrap up, and I will recap the pages that we made together. The first one was this one using book pages and scraps. So we made a fun little flip up. So there's journaling right here, and then you have a tag in this pocket with some journaling on the back, and then a fun little cluster right here. We did some stamping. And the next layout, we used some magazines and some napkins. So I Mod Podged over it's actually a calendar page to make it not shiny. We did some stenciling, and then we made this fun side pocket tag, and we used a napkin to decorate up the piece of 6x6 scrapbook paper. And then we have an avocado dyed index card and a little label, and you can slide it in either that way or you can slide it in that way, and that way it looks like a little hidden journaling. And then our last page was 2 side pockets, and we did a bird theme. We did a collage on each of the pockets, and I added a label and a butterfly on these, and then I inked around the edges. And then I have these watercolored tiny index cards to slide into the side pockets. Well, I hope this gives you all some inspiration and some ideas. I really enjoyed hanging out with y'all today, and make sure to hit the like button, and if you're new, subscribe and come back for more. I have a lot more to fill up in my inspiration journal, and if you want to see any of my earlier pages, then just check out my playlist. All right, talk to y'all on the next video. Bye.